What is going on, guys? Welcome to another stream of the Black Tech Experience. Today, we are talking about OpenAI protests. And apparently, Microsoft has a new AI computer. I'm hearing mixed reviews. We'll be watching a video on that. And we'll also be looking at Should We Be Afraid of the AI by Yan LeCun. And if you've seen some of my other streams, you know that Yan LeCun is the AI chief of Meta, and he is extremely skeptical about what is it? He's extremely skeptical that AI or the LLM models are going to be anything more than just a house cat. He sees the limitations of things like ChatGPT is that it will just regurgitate data. It's not smart enough to plan or to learn effectively. And I have mixed feelings. I don't know, but it'll be good. We're trying to answer the question. The title of the video is called "Should We Be Afraid of AI?" And if you don't know who I am, my name is Rami. I'm a software engineer at a FAANG company. I worked at places like Twitch, ex-Twitch engineer, ex-Google intern. I have my master's degree from Cornell, and yeah, I programmed smart contracts and did AI programming, and so I'm definitely an expert. Don't like to toot my own horn, but if you guys, let's see, we got some people in the chat today. If you have any questions, I would love to answer it. You guys have been really good as far as asking me questions that is helpful to the stream. But let me think. Also, I want to get in. I think if you have not seen a quick aside, I made a video talking about how I failed interviews at Snapchats and other companies, and the response from that was so amazing because some people were saying, let me see, shout out my guy, Horace. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, Horace IB. A lot of you guys, I felt had the same pain as me in this job market right now. Is that you're working hard. I'm reading people who talk about how nobody passed their lead code question. And so they gave the same question to their teammates, and nobody passed it either. And then they ended up hiring the guy. But I think that's just the market we're in. It's definitely a company first market where you can be extremely, what is the word? You can be extremely picky about what software engineer you want. And so, yeah, in a side note to that is that when I got rejected from Coinbase, I didn't even get an interview. So it's like you would think with my years of experience, I've been in the industry for I have 2 years of experience at a FAANG company, and I have 2 years at a bank as a software engineer. I spent 1 year as a tech consultant, and I have my bachelor's and my master's. You would think somebody like me would have a lot of opportunities to interview, but the main way that I get a chance to interview is not by applying; it's via my connections, and that's a like I think that's the most important thing I could tell you guys as far as interviewing and applying and getting jobs is that if you can get to a career fair and get in front of somebody, that will be 100 times better than you going through the process of applying. And I'm not saying that you cannot apply and have success because I got my job at Twitch with with nobody on the inside. What is the word? Like giving me a referral. It can happen, but I promise you guys, I probably failed like hundreds of interviews before that happened. And so if you are currently in the fight right now looking for a job, just keep at it. The industry goes in cycles. There will definitely be a rise of jobs in the future as we understand what AI is and how jobs for human beings in the future are going to interact with each other. Um, I think the job market will come back. So don't feel discouraged. Keep learning how to program. Keep contributing to open source. If you see my other video on how I got into Twitch, is by showing them a packet of things that I've already done. I just want to spread some encouragement for you guys in that regard. But I think we got a question, and I'm also going to pull up the video real quick. So let's see, guys. Okay. I did not want to do it like that. Let's see. That's interesting. I don't know. I guess we can try this. I'm using a new browser, and it kind of just switched to the other side. No, actually, I don't know if I want to do it like that. Already struggle streaming. Let's stop that screen. And interesting. I was hoping that I was going to be able to share it, but let me answer a question real quick, and I will. I'll see if I can change the stream quickly while we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. But would you recommend a new developer has at least one machine learning or AI project with the resume or portfolio? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think you guys are going to have a really good AI project right now because it just depends. Like anybody can call a AI machine learning algorithm in Google or Amazon. And I think that is a way for you to start learning that because that's going to be big. I think they're going to be programmers specifically for just programming in programming AI models. So I do think that is going to be helpful. I think you guys, if you want to really get into the nitty gritty and be one of the people who are actually building these models up from the ground up, I think that's going to require an advanced application of what is the word? It's going to require some more effort than probably you're going to be able to spend in a project. But yeah, I think honestly, if you guys can find some group of people who are trying to like study AI and you can build a project with them, I think that's probably like the A+ possibility for you. And I think we got some more people in here. If you have any more questions, let me know. I am switching my browser. Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. We are back in a different browser. I apologize for the start. And how about we do that? See if I can do. Share screen. Struggle streaming, my guys. All right, we are cooking. We are struggle streaming today. So this is a video about a protest on the new OpenAI unveils a model. I guess people are mad about their jobs. Let's take a look.
Took a big step forward today.
And let me guys know if you can't hear it because I think last time, like, you guys, it was on mute.
I'm talking about artificial intelligence and a Bay Area startup that's showing off what AI can do like we have never seen before.
But what does this mean for your jobs? And why were protesters outside the company's offices today? Let's bring in our business and tech reporter, Scott Budman, for some answers. Scott.
Well, Janelle and Terry, we are, of course, talking about OpenAI, which has a ton of funding from both Microsoft and Silicon Valley VCs. Today, they showed off what they've been using that money for, an update to a program called ChatGPT, where the AI now wants to be your friend.
Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours.
And that's how the story of GPT.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, like, to think about this. Like, if you guys knew about Uber and how they came up, like, there were protesters claiming, almost fighting the people driving Uber. And so with OpenAI, like, and the mass exodus of the 9 to 5 because of AI killing jobs, I foresee that there's going to be a lot of protests. And there's going to be a lot of men lost because they don't necessarily have a purpose.
T4 begins with a phone that wants to be your friend, or at least help you with math.
The first step is to get all the terms with X on one side and the constants on the other side.
But even as OpenAI rolled out the latest chat product at its headquarters,
AI later, safety now! AI later, safety now!
A group called Pause AI protested outside.
We're out here asking for OpenAI to be reined in until we know that what they're doing is safe and that they're doing it in a safe way. And it really shouldn't be us doing that. It should be our government leaders.
Nervous about how eerily human the AI has become.
It's going to be very, very, very close to the humans. And now we're going to look at.
Yeah, I think, can you guys imagine? Like, I struggled. Like, my teachers didn't allow me to even be I had to fight to be in their honors classes. And I've talked about that previously in a video. And so I'm really excited for the opportunity to have students to have free education from the AI. But yeah, it definitely does seem very human-like. But at the same time, we're going to listen to another video talk about how it's not smart at all. But let me guys know in the chat, do you think AI is dangerous? I'd love to know.
At your phone is not, a smartphone is basically, a friend.
Engineering professor Ahmed Banafa says, at least in the short term, technology that can do this in real time.
Potessero parlare, cosa ci direbbero?
Mike, she wonders if whales could talk, what would they tell us?
Is likely to take human jobs away.
The tutors' jobs will be at risk. You can talk about that. Jobs really going to be as translators will be at risk at the same time. These things comes with a price.
The question now is, where does AI go from here?
Yeah, Scott, that is the biggest fear. It'll take away jobs. But with new technology, usually there are new jobs, new job creation. Is that the case?
I think it will be the case. This is so new, Janelle, that right now we're seeing people getting freaked out because their jobs are likely to go away. Companies.
Yeah, like, I saw a theory online that said, like, in the future, everybody's going to have a very unique job. So instead of, like, everybody having like a title of a lawyer, we're all going to just be something specific. Like, I don't know, anime AI creator.
These are cutting back because they have AI instead. But, and you're right, with every new technology, new jobs and new sets of jobs have been created. I expect that will be the case here. Some because we're going to need, and look at these things, we're going to need to figure out how ethically to deal with this. So we're going to have a whole new category of jobs as to what humans will be able to do and what we will allow machines and robots to do in our place.
Now, I see him serving drinks and I see him walking across the floor. Are they going to take our jobs?
There's
That's my question.
Ours in the aggregate, hey, maybe, but not you, Terry. There's only one, really. And I mean, there are some human things when it comes to translating a language or things like that, that, okay, a phone can do. But delivering the news, Terry, I'd like to think that we're going to be
You need
around
humans for that.
at least a little while, yeah.
We do like to think that.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
You bet.
Thanks.
Nothing dims my light like a migraine.
Oh, no.
With Nurtec
No ads on my channel. All right. So I think that was more mild than I thought. And I think it's probably too early to be thinking. Let me mirror my camera real quick. It's probably too early to be thinking that there's going to be nationwide protests. But yeah, I'm absolutely positive AI is going to create jobs. There's some things that I would not allow an AI to do for me. I don't know if I would allow an AI to be a pilot or to sentence other people to death. I think there is definitely some things, and we don't know how well AI is going to be at hacking things as well. Like, can you guys imagine? Like, my voice is all over the internet. Somebody can take my voice, call my mom, and they can be like, "Hey, like, what were Rami's passwords or something?" And you might be able to get my mom or a loved one through that. Or imagine somebody doing that with Barack Obama. I'm not even that famous, and you don't have as much info on my voice, but it's a scary time, or it's scary and exciting. And I talked a little bit about how my teachers often fought to keep me out of these classes, and those classes could have helped me be an AI right now if I had more rigorous math programming. And people, people like to gatekeep information and like to keep the system elitist, in a sense that, like, nobody, unless you were born into this type of thinking, it's impossible for you to get in, which is ugly. Or I think it's ugly. I don't know what you guys think, but shout out my man Struggle Security. What's up? Glad for the support and loving the content. Appreciate it. But again, I'm gonna implore you guys. I'm really curious. I'd love to know if anybody else thinks this, like, AI stuff is dangerous, so much that we need to slow down. I also think that
to a jungle full of
what is the
dinosaurs.
word?
Whoa!
Like, if this is also a national security threat, quote unquote, my nigga, my what is it? Struggle Security? My guy, Struggle Security. What is it? My guy, Struggle Security, was, what was I thinking? Yeah, it's a security threat because if another country gets generative AI before America, right? What is to say they create the next Google, they create the next Amazon overnight in something that's way more reproducible? And so I understand why it's a race. It's almost like, it reminds me of the race to the moon. It is a security threat, and I'm happy that America is taking it seriously. But at the same time, like, what happens when somebody uses an AI to impersonate Biden or Trump and ruin an election? I think that there's definitely, I see two sides of this. One, like, is it safe, or are we moving too fast too soon, or are we not moving fast enough? But let's get into the next video. We are watching a video from Fireships. These new computers are getting creepy. Copilot first looks. So apparently, OpenAI has Microsoft is announcing a new computer that is AI focused, it seems like. I don't know if you guys have already seen it, but this will be my first time reacting to it. I have not seen any of it. Let's get into it. And I'm trying. Let me see. There it is. Yeah. All right. I feel like I know you guys think I'm really good with computers, but I'm all right. But let's get into
laptop designed primarily to compete with the.
That did not start at the right spot. So let me get back to the beginning.
CEO Satya Nadella made a bold claim. Microsoft laptops don't suck anymore. They're 58% faster than M3, and the AI era for computers officially begins. He then pulled up Tim Cook on MSN Messenger and said, "How do you like them apples?" Microsoft just unveiled the Copilot Plus PC, not to be confused with GitHub Copilot or Windows Copilot PC. The Copilot Plus PC is a radical new computing paradigm that runs Windows on the ARM CPU architecture thanks to the Snapdragon Elite chip, but most importantly, the chip has a 40 TOPS neural processing unit, allowing them to pack this machine to the gills with artificial intelligence. And there's one.
What's with them naming like copilots for everything? I'm not a fan. Like, I think they need to hire me or use ChatGPT to figure out some better names.
Word everyone is using to describe it: creepy AF. It is May 21st, 2024, and you're watching The Code Report. The Copilot Plus PC is one of the most interesting pieces of computer technology we've seen in a long time. It's already created a lot of drama and intrigue, but first let's talk about performance. The product itself is a Surface laptop designed primarily to compete with the MacBook Air, but instead of using the traditional x86 CPU architecture with an Intel or AMD chip, it uses the Qualcomm Snapdragon Elite chip with the ARM architecture, which can achieve far better battery life and run all your apps without overheating your groin. Microsoft claims it's 58% faster than an M3 chip on a MacBook Air and up to 0% faster than the M4. But there's some major trade-offs here. For all of history, any app running on Windows has been designed to run on the x86 architecture, and that means many applications simply won't work on these ARM-based computers. As of today, apps like Chrome and Microsoft Office will work, and even Adobe Photoshop, but other apps...
I'm already calling that this seems like a fad and it's overhyped.
Like Adobe Premiere don't even work yet, and there's tons of other software that likely won't work on Windows for ARM for a long time. However, there is an application called Prism that emulates ARM for x86, which is similar to the Rosetta emulator on Mac. Now, when Apple made the switch to ARM with Apple Silicon, they basically told everyone to start developing for ARM or GTFO. Microsoft, though, can't exactly do that. Going forward, they're going to need to support both ARM and x86 for the foreseeable future. And another thing to keep an eye on is that Intel is developing the Lunar Lake chip, which apparently could bring x86 back to laptops. But the big question here is, why is everybody calling the Copilot Plus PC creepy? Well, it has nothing to do with performance. The most interesting feature of this device is something called recall. And by recall, I mean total recall. It's constantly taking snapshots in the background of everything you do on your computer. When the pixels change enough, it takes a snapshot and stores it on device, while also using on-device image classifiers to determine what's inside that image. I, for one, actually think this is really cool. Like, I could ask it, "Hey Copilot, what's that video I was working on a few weeks ago where the operating system has a logo of a penguin?" And instead of manually searching through my file directories like a caveman, the Copilot could just automatically find that file and open it for me. Pretty cool, but this also...
I'm not gonna lie, that would be a cool feature, because it's like, if I could talk to my computer like an assistant, I definitely would. I lose files, and sometimes I remember things in the moment, and if it could come get that for me, like, I think that'd be pretty lit.
Feels like a data privacy nightmare. Like, imagine I was part of a coup that was trying to overthrow the Congolese government. Not only would I be worried about my browser search history, but also every little thing I did privately locally on my computer. At this point, everybody's just accepted that the government illegally spies on us, and recall seems like a great feature to build on this domestic spying infrastructure. Or at the very least, Microsoft could sell your recall data so advertisers could influence your personal AI assistant to tell you what to buy. That's pretty dystopian, but there's a couple things to keep in mind. This recall feature is entirely on device. None of your recall data ever leaves the computer or goes into the cloud. In addition, you can delete the recall data just like your browser history, and you have control over which apps it can watch you use. So it's really not that creepy. And I'm not even gaslighting here. If you think this thing is creepy, that's just...
What if the AI, I don't know if y'all can hear that noise outside. He said like the AI assistant is gonna start giving us ads. Like, I don't know. I think that'd be like an invasion of privacy.
Because you're a crazy paranoid person. Copilot Plus PC is your friend, and gaslighting is not real. But now here's the creepiest thing of all. This device almost had the voice of Scarlett Johansson.
The DNA of who I am is based on the millions of personalities of all the programmers who wrote me.
Because one of the AI models on the Copilot Plus is GPT-4o. Sam Altman, inspired by the dystopian movie Her, reached out to Scarlett and asked her if they could clone her voice to use for their AI. She was like, "No, dude, that's creepy. Leave me alone or I'm calling the cops." Sam was like, "I didn't mean it like that. I'm happily married," and agreed not to clone her voice. However, when GPT-4o dropped last week, you may have noticed the uncanny resemblance to Scarlett Johansson.
Color me intrigued.
Are you about to reveal something about AI?
She was not too happy about this and is threatening legal action against OpenAI, so they discontinued that voice. It's yet another big scandal for the world's most popular closed source AI company. And unfortunately, that means we'll never get to live out the incel dystopian nightmare of using our Microsoft Copilot Plus PCs as an AI girlfriend voiced by the Academy Award nominated actress we all expected. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for
Man, I don't know if I've been watching Fireship for a long time, and he used to never say things like that. Like, it would just be straight information. And so, I don't know. I think that's part of the content creation journey. But AI PC, I think, would I get one? I would love to play with it. I don't know if I would like use it right now. Like, honestly, I use AI a lot on my job. I use for ideation. I don't use it to necessarily complete any task at my job completely, because it would be really bad at it. But I'd be curious to see how far, if this could be useful. It definitely does seem like a fad. Like that one use case that he was talking about, I would say would be a rare use case. Would it be worth the price? Like, I already have a laptop, and yeah, not sure. But let's get back into some questions. I think it's a force multiplier for tech professionals. Definitely, guys. Like, I was at a black tech mixer, and somebody said that like they foresee AI creating $15 trillion in the next like 5 to 10 years or something. And so what that means is that a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of individuals who make a lot of money for people. Like, if you guys know, like Minecraft sold for like millions of dollars, right? And that was like 4 people. Imagine what you could create with AI for a game with just 4 or 5 people. And so, yeah, I think either people are gonna like, there's gonna be a whole bunch of entrepreneurs in the future, or people are going to, what is the word? People are just not gonna have jobs, and we need universal income. And so another one says deepfakes are definitely possible threats and get customers concerns about deepfakes and impersonating all the time. Yeah, I guess it's back to what I was saying, how I'm a little bit afraid of how people are going to use this to scam other people. It's definitely wild. And we got another question. What makes people think Windows on ARM is going to work this time around? Guys, I don't know. I'm not sure. I am not big into operating systems in Windows. I actually have a Mac. This kind of goes over my head. Recall lit. My guy also says, why doesn't Microsoft just invest in OpenAI instead of using it for stupid partnerships that aren't going to pan out? I thought that that's why they partnered. They are. I think I saw that like OpenAI has and Microsoft have invested like $100 billion into some nuclear plant so they can use it to fuel the next models in the future. And I think that's going to be kind of crazy. But yeah, I think the next video kind of leads into what I'm thinking. Like, there is a big skeptic, one of the AI founding fathers, talked about how he doesn't think the LLMs are a good. They have been designed to be quite bad. They have so much limitations, and he's encouraging people to move away from the LLMs in the future. So, kind of excited to watch this video with you guys. Too many jokes mixed in with the real info. Yeah. I understand. I think part of content creation is entertaining. So, I think that's just the journey. But let me cue up the next video. Make sure it doesn't have an ad.
is your magic
It's playing
crystal
an
ball
ad
for
right now.
sales.
So
It won't
hopefully you
pick
guys
the
can
winning
hear
lottery
that. I don't know
numbers,
if you can.
but it will predict the right answers during every.
All right, I skipped the ad, and I am going to pull it up, and let's get into it.
Number 1. All open source AI must be banned because it threatens the profits of monopolistic tech companies.
Number 2.
Universities should stop doing AI research because companies are much better at it.
And number 3.
To be honest, I don't care about all of this AI safety stuff. It doesn't matter. Let's focus on quantum computing instead.
All right, let's give it up for our panelists. There are many, many current challenges with AI, of course, that we need to deal with. Deepfakes.
I'm a little bit confused with that. Like, the video is called "Should We Be Afraid of AI?" and I guess the panelists are just talking about their expectations.
It's very relevant this year because of elections and fraud and all sorts of other things. If you want to learn more about it, we have a deepfake demo where you can deepfake yourself back there and share your ideas for what to do about it. But that's not what we're going to talk about now, because we are going to look a little farther into the future. The ultimate goal of AI from the beginning has always been to really solve intelligence and figure out how to make machines that can do everything humans can do, ideally much better. That is both exciting and terrifying. And I have taken the prerogative as moderator of sorting the panelists from least worried to most worried. I hope you feel Oh, wait, you switched. You should switch with Stuart. Please switch places. Yeah. We're not seating you by your deep fake opinions now, but by the real ones. The main goal we have here is not to have just yet another debate about whether we should worry or not, but rather to brainstorm about solutions in the MIT spirit, okay? And I have a very radical and heretical belief that you all actually agree on a lot more things than the average.
I'll give my take. I think we should be afraid of AI. I do consider myself maybe an AI doomer, but yeah, let's see what they gotta say.
Twitter user probably realizes, and we're gonna see if we can find some of those shared those things that you agree on that we can all go out and do. So I'm gonna warm you up just with some lightning round questions where you can basically just say yes and no or no. Okay. So who here? First question: are you excited about improving AI in ways so that it can be our tool and really complement and help humans? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Right. Next question. Do you believe that AI in a few years will be a lot better than it is now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Now, okay, let's make it a bit harder. So if we define artificial general intelligence as AI that can do basically all cognitive tasks at human level or better, I think, do you feel that we already have it now?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
Okay, 4 no's. Do you think we're probably going to have it within the next 1,000 years?
This dude's questions are lame. Of course, I do think we're going to have it in the next 1,000 years, but let's take a look.
Maybe.
Sure. Yes. Yes.
Do you think we're probably going to have it within the next, did I say 1,000 or 100? Next 100 years?
That's a good question. Let me guys know in the chat. Do you think we're going to have generative AI in the next 100 years? I'd love to know. I think it's hard to say. I feel like we're such in a hype period. I feel like I'm going to say yes, but I don't think we've seen the limitations of AI just yet. So it's a weak yes.
Maybe.
Quite possibly. Very probably. Barring nuclear catastrophe, yes.
All right. So if you were to put a number on like how many years we're going to need to wait until we have a 50% chance of getting it, what year would you guesstimate?
Oh no. No ass. So let me see if I can pull this down real quick. But yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get generative AI. I do think it's kind of interesting. Like, you guys have seen Elon Musk. He says like we're going to have it in the next like 5 years. Like, it's going to be smarter than every human being on this planet. And it is kind of interesting. Like, you guys see like ChatGPT to 3 to 4 is a big jump. But yeah, I think we're gonna get it probably. I would say the next 50 years.
Not anytime soon.
Decades.
Decades?
A lot less than I used to think.
Okay, and you?
5.4.
5.4 years. Okay, a lot of precision there. So I think you'll all agree we put them in the right order, and you can see that the level of alarm they have is correlated with how quickly they think we're going to have to deal with this. So clearly, if you have some of the world, if you have leading world experts who think it might happen relatively soon, we have to take seriously the possibility. So the question is, how do we make sure that this becomes the kind of tool AI that we can control, so we can get all the upside and not the downside? One thing that has really struck me here in Davos, actually, is that the vast majority of what I hear people being excited about in AI, all medical breakthroughs, eliminating poverty, helping with the climate, making great new business opportunities, doesn't require AGI at all.
What are you guys most excited about as far as AI? I think us having more free time and more access to education is what I'm really excited about, and maybe people won't have to choose between being doing something that they love. Like maybe they can find just as much success with the rise in digital art, and yeah, could be a better future in some ways. And I'm least excited about like a possibility that none of us are going to have a purpose.
So I'm actually quite curious if somehow there were a way where we could just agree that say, let's do all the great AI stuff, but maybe not do super intelligence until 2040 at the earliest or something like that. Is that something you all feel you could live with, or do you feel that there is a great urgency to try to make something super intelligent as fast as possible? What would you all go in this direction this time? What would you say?
Can live with that.
Can you say it again?
I can live with that.
You can live with that. What about you, Stuart?
Well,
you can elaborate a bit more this time.
I could live with that, but it's not actually relevant what I think. What's relevant is what are the economic forces driving it. And if AGI is worth, as I've estimated, $15 quadrillion, it's kind of hard to
15 quadrillion, a million bajillion dollars.
tell people, no, you can't go for that.
Jan, what about you?
So first of all, there is no such thing as AGI because we can talk about human level AI, but human intelligence is very specialized. So we shouldn't be talking about AGI at all. We should be talking about what kind of intelligence can we observe in humans and animals that current AI systems don't have. And, you know, there's a lot of things that current AI systems don't have that your cat has or your dog. And they don't have anything close to general intelligence. So the problem we have to solve is how to get machines to learn as efficiently as humans and animals. That is useful for a lot of applications. This is the future because we're going to have AI assistants that, you know, we talk to help us in our daily lives. We need those systems to have human level intelligence. So, you know, that's why we need it. We need to do it right.
Daniela?
Well, I'm with Jan, but let me first say that I don't think it's feasible to say we're going to stop science from developing in one direction or another. And so I think knowledge has to continue to be invented. We have to continue to push the boundaries. And this is one of the most exciting aspects of working in this field right now. We do want to improve our tools. We do want to develop better models that are closer to nature.
I apologize if y'all can hear some of the noise that's going on in the background.
Than the models that we have right now. We want to try to understand nature in as great detail as possible. And I believe that it's the feasible way forward is to start with the simpler organisms in nature and work our ways up to the more complex creatures like humans.
Stuart?
So I want to take issue with something. There's a difference between knowing and doing, and that's an important distinction. But I would say actually there are limits on what is a good idea for the human race to know. Is it a good idea for everyone on Earth to know how, in their kitchen, to create an organism that will wipe out the human race? Is that a good idea? Daniela?
No, of course not.
Of course not. Right. So we accept that there are limits to what is a good idea for us to know. And I think
That's interesting. Like I saw somebody be able to hack ChatGPT and be able to like ask how to build a napalm or something like that. And yeah, I think with the rise of these models, there's going to be dark models. Like you guys seen, Meta has open source Llama 3 or something like that, and so, yeah, the let's say the dark models are coming.
Also limits on
Dark
what
net
is
models.
a good idea for us to do, right? Should we build nuclear weapons that are large enough to ignite the entire atmosphere of the Earth? We can do that, but most people would say, no, it's not a good idea to build such a weapon. Okay, so there are limits on what we should do with our knowledge. And then the third point is it a good idea to build systems that are more powerful than human beings that we do not know how to control?
Well, Stuart, I have to respond to you.
Please do.
And I will say that every technology that has been invented has positives and negatives. We invent the knowledge, and then we find ways to ensure that the inventions are used for good, not for bad, and there are mechanisms for doing that, and there are mechanisms that the world is developing for AI. With respect to your point about whether we have machines that are more powerful than humans, we already do. We already have robots that can move with greater precision than you can. We have robots that can lift more than you can. We have machine learning that can process much more data than we can. And so we already have machines that can do more than we can.
No, but those machines are clearly not more powerful than humans, in the same way that gorillas are not more powerful than humans, even though they're much stronger than us, and horses are much stronger and faster than us. But no one feels threatened by horses.
I think there is a big fallacy.
I feel threatened by gorillas. Yes. No, but I think I get his point. Like, they're not, we don't, a gorilla outbreak is not, probably it's not making the news anytime soon.
In all of this. So first of all, we do not have a blueprint for a system that would have human level intelligence. It does not exist. The research doesn't exist. The science needs to be done. This is why it's going to take a long time. And so if we're speaking today about how to protect against intelligent systems, taking over the world, or the dangers of it, regardless of what they are, it's as if we were talking in 1925 about the dangers of crossing the Atlantic at near the speed of sound when the turbojet was not invented. We don't know how to make those systems safe because we have not invented them yet. Now, once we have a blueprint for a system that can be intelligent, we'll have a blueprint probably for a system that can be controlled as well. Because I don't believe we can build intelligent systems that don't have controlling mechanisms inside of them. We do as humans. Evolution, kind of built us with certain drives. We can build machines with the same drives. So that's the first fallacy. The second fallacy is it is not because an entity is intelligent that it wants to dominate or that it is necessarily dangerous. It can solve problems. You can tell it, you can set the goals for it, and it will fulfill those goals. And the idea that somehow the system is going to come up with its own goals and take over humanity is just preposterous. It's ridiculous.
What is concerning to me is that the danger from
It's kind of interesting, right? Like he's saying, there's no way like Chat GPT is just gonna wake up and say, like, you know what? I want to dominate humanity and enslave them. Um, yeah, and that's one of the founding fathers of the large language models. So I'm not sure. Like he really does seem convinced of this, and it does give me a little bit of peace of mind. But I don't know, man. ChatGPT seems quite smart to me.
AI does not come from any like bad property that it has, an evilness that must be removed from the AI. It's because it's capable. It's because it's powerful. This is what makes it dangerous. What makes a technology useful is also what makes it dangerous. The reason that nuclear reactors are useful is because nuclear bombs are dangerous. This is the same property. As technology progresses over the decades and the centuries, we have gotten access to more and more powerful technologies, more energy, more control over our environment. What this means is that the best and the worst things that can happen, either on purpose or accidentally, grow in tandem with the technology we built. AI is a particularly powerful technology, but it is not the only one that could become so powerful that even a single accident is unacceptable. There are technologies that exist today or will exist at some point in the future. Let's not argue about whether it's now, in 10 years, or 20 years. My kids are going to be alive in 50 years. And I want them to live in a world where not a single accident can be the end. If you have a technology, whether it's AGI, future nuclear weapons, bioweapons, or something else, you can build weapons or systems so powerful that a single accident means game over. And our civilization is not set.
I think that is true. I think like I would never want to be able to be in a situation where AI could destroy humanity. I think we're leagues away from that. Can a Chat GPT inspire some terrorists to make a napalm or something? I think that's possible, or make it a little bit easier. But yeah, it sounds like we don't have systems capable just yet.
Set up in how we currently develop technologies to be able to deal with technologies that don't give you retries. This is the problem. If we have retries, if we can try again and again and we fail and some stuff blows up and maybe a couple people die, but it's fine. Yeah, then I agree with Jan and Daniela that I think our scientists got this. I think Jan's lab will solve this. I think these people will solve it. But if one accident is too much, I don't think they will.
But to that point, and to the point that Stuart and Connor just mentioned, you can imagine an infinite number of scenarios when all of those things will go bad. You can do this with any technology. You can do this with AI, obviously. Sci-fi is full of it. You can do this with turbojets. Turbojets can blow up. There is lots and lots of ways to build those systems.
Yeah, I was looking at the possibility of like a nuclear reactor having an explosion. It's like 1 zillion every year. I was like, wow, like I would have thought that it was more likely than that. But actually, I don't know. Like, yeah, technology can be dangerous.
In ways that would be dangerous, wrong, they'll kill people, etc. But as long as there is at least one way to do it right, that's all we need. And so, for example, there's technology that was developed in the past that was developed at a prototype level and then was decided that it should not be deployed because it would be too dangerous or uncontrollable. Nuclear-powered cars. People were talking about this in the 50s. They were prototypes. It was never deployed. Nuclear-powered spaceships, same thing. So there are mechanisms in society to stop the deployment of technology if it's really dangerous and to not deploy it. But there are ways to make AI safe.
I actually do agree that it's important to understand the limitations of today's technology and understand and set out to develop solutions. And for some cases, we can develop technological solutions. And so, for instance, we've been talking about the bias problem in machine learning. We actually have technological solutions to solve that. We are talking about size. We're talking about interpretability. The scientific community is working on addressing the challenges with today's solutions, and also seeking to invent new approaches to AI, new approaches to machine learning that have other types of properties. And in fact, at MIT, a number of research groups are really aiming to push the boundaries to develop solutions that can be deployed on safety critical systems and on edge devices. This is very important, and there is really excellent progress. So I'm very bullish about using machine learning and AI in safety critical applications. So I would say I agree with one thing that Stuart said, but also with
Let me guys know. Let me know if you be okay with an AI pilot. Like, I don't know, or just seems like, I think even if it had like a 99% success rate, like programs can do some retarded stuff sometimes, bro. I would definitely like, let me know if you'd ever like use an AI pilot with no human being in there. Because I think for the foreseeable future, like we're gonna at least have like a human being that can take control when need be.
A lot of the observations Jan shared.
Several of you independently say that we need new architectures, new technical solutions. So to wrap up, I would love if some of you want to share just very briefly some thoughts on this. Like, what kind of new architectures do we need that are more promising to make it the kind of AI that complements us rather than replaces us? Do you want to go first, Jan?
Sure. Yeah, I can't really give you a working example of it because this is work in progress. But these are systems that are goal-driven, and at inference time, they have to fulfill a goal that we give them, but also satisfy a bunch of guardrails. And so they cannot be they're planning their answer as opposed to just producing it autoregressively, one word after the other. And they cannot be jailbroken unless you hack into them or things like that. So this would be an architecture that I think would be considerably safer than the current types that we are talking about. And those systems would be able to plan and reason, remember, perhaps understand the physical world, all kinds of things that current LLMs cannot do. So future AI system will not be on the blueprint that we currently have, and they will be controllable because they'll be objective-driven.
Liquid networks, which are brain-inspired by the brains of small creatures, and they are provably causal, they are compact, they are interpretable and explainable, and they can be deployed on edge devices. And since we have these great properties, we also have control. I'm also excited about connecting some of the tools we're developing in machine learning with tools from control theory. And so, for instance, combining machine learning with tools like barrier net and control barrier functions to ensure that the output of a machine learning system is safe.
The actual technology that I think is most important is social technology. It is very tempting for tech people, tech nerds like all of us here on this panel to try to think of solutions that don't involve going through humans. But the truth is that the world is complicated, and this is both a political and a technological problem. And if we ignore the technical and the social side of this problem, we will fail, reliably so. So it is extremely important to understand that techno-optimism is not a replacement for humanism.
Yeah, like I hope there are human teachers in the future because AI can be quite boring. But yeah.
Great. So let's thank our wonderful panel here for.
I guess that's it. All right. That was quite interesting. I feel like, yeah, Jan seems quite. What is the word? He believes LLMs are not smart at all, and it's crazy. It's like they keep putting billions and billions, and we keep seeing them move forward a lot faster. So I have mixed feelings. Like I feel somewhat inspired, but like we gotta live day by day because definitely some of the stuff that these models can be used for can be quite dangerous. But to get back to it, I think I asked you guys a question like, what are you most excited about for AI? closing the tech gap. And that is real, guys. Like, I went to a historically black college, and Google sent teachers to go teach in my college, and they told me that another HBCU, I'm not going to name them, but another big one, they said a student wouldn't even learn how to program wouldn't get a chance to write a program until their junior year. And so I've literally, when I was at Google, I met people from Princeton who were taking like sophomore level courses as a freshman. And so the gap between people who want to get into tech can be huge if you were not born into the pockets of the system. So yeah, I'm excited for that as well. And the gatekeeping of good information will be given. Like, imagine any student from a poor neighborhood in a bad school could just use AI to learn and get the same, if not better, education than students with a lot of money. Ain't too cool with that Microsoft AI taking snapshots of my PC. Yeah, you know, I don't trust Microsoft. I don't trust any of these companies. But like, did you guys see that like Twitter had this tool where they could like make things go viral? Like they definitely do some shady stuff. Everyone will be able to code now, learn anything with better teacher engine AI. I agree. Spyware. See, I laughed at this because it's like, yeah, like imagine a model that made it easier to hack into other people's stuff. Like, there's a lot of information out there about people, even me. Like, it's kind of crazy to imagine that, like, historically, people might be looking back at us and be laughing at how much stuff we put out on the internet about us. Like, there's a trail. Sure, Microsoft, sure. All right. I think that's all the videos I have for you guys today. Really appreciate you guys joining. I think there's another video I could watch about OpenAI, but I think I already watched it. If anybody has any suggestions or questions they want to ask before I end it, I'll stick around for a few minutes. But that is all that I had for you today. I really appreciate everybody showing up. Or yeah, if you have any feedback about the channel, I'm good with that as well. But we got one. The new Google reCAPTCHA in the way? I'm confused, my guy. Not sure what you're talking about right there. Looks like nobody has any more questions. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining. Definitely will be back on next week. And I think I have a video out right now. If you didn't see my last live, I made a shorter version of it. Please check that out. But deuces.